Tell me about when did your entrepreneurship journey start?
I mean, I think I had like a really long front tail. I was always driven towards entrepreneurship. I always had these kind of, I never really wanted to work for someone else. My grandparents on both sides of my family are self-employed and have their own businesses. And I think based on that, I would spend the summers working for my grandfather's plumbing company. When I went to San Francisco and saw my grandmother, I'd go with her to her store. I always liked the idea of it being yours, but I didn't really do that for a long time. I had maybe a romanticized view of it. It's what I wanted to do, but I didn't do that. And I really tried a lot of different things, many different industries. So started off thinking that I wanted to be in the military, wanted to be a pilot, and then changed that to wanting to be an actor. Realized that maybe I didn't want to be a pilot. I wanted to be Maverick from Top Gun. And it just kind of kept building these things that I was trying different industries and doing different things. So it really wasn't until this Fantasy Elect was the first thing that I started on my own and kind of jumped all in with. I could give the whole bio of all the different jobs and maybe one by one we'll hit each one, but that's really what it was. I think it was a really long leading tale of knowing I wanted to do something entrepreneurial. I think being an actor, being a writer, those things are entrepreneurial tasks or goals, but they're maybe not what we think of as being an entrepreneur because you are your own business in that. So that's what I would say is this is the first thing that I've actually done, executed on. But before that, I had a lot of ideas and always wanted to be that entrepreneur.
What prevented you from taking on any of those ideas? So you mentioned actor, you mentioned a bunch of things. Why Fantasy Elect versus the hundreds of ideas you got before? I
mean, I think, again, if we think about the writing and the acting as an entrepreneur, I did try that. I did do that. And for about a decade in LA, I was writing. I wrote a comic book. I wrote many scripts, created many different ideas, never gained traction, and learned a lot about why I didn't gain traction, that now I really focus on those lessons because I think I really learned from what caused that. So I would say that I did do that. This may be a very different thing in that it's so clear to me, the vision of what steps to take, that it was very easy for me to say, okay, this is the thing that my life is solely focused on right now. Whereas in my late 20s, early 30s, to date myself in LA, I wasn't clear on what I was doing. Okay. So I would just sit in my room and write, and didn't really know what to do with the business side of it was really what was lacking the most there. So
you could say you had the idea, but you didn't have the conviction to follow through, or you didn't have the sort of just mission-driven, hey, I know I want to do this and here's my path. So was it the uncertainty that prevented you from going all in into writing or producing or being an actor?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty all in. You know me, you know that I can be very philosophical about it. And I actually think that though every part of the journey was required for me to take pieces of lessons to apply to now. So I think one of the big lessons, since we're being specific, I don't know if it was about all in, but for the writing and for the acting, I neglected the networking, the building the business, the being part of a community. I had several friends that worked in the industry and we did like a sketch writing group, but I did not go and try to network with agents, managers, producers, which for Fantasy Elect has been very opposite. And a lot of really great things have come from just meeting people who, I tell people one of the biggest things I've learned in Fantasy Elect is how many people in the world are willing to help you for free and want nothing in return. And that really just fills me with a sense of gratitude, and realizing that I missed that 20 years ago, really more like 15 years ago. I think I had to see that missing piece and then now not want to make the same mistake. And then that's led to successes. And then each one along the way, not just the writing, but I see now the mistakes that I made and the things that I did wrong. So I correct for those now. So I think the clarity of vision, and as you taught, like as you said, the conviction. I think it's perceived by other people when they talk to me as conviction, but really it is clarity of vision of like, I made so many mistakes that led to failures or not achieving what I wanted to achieve in all of those different areas, that now I can almost see the path that I'm traveling as if it's already happened. And I tell people, I've already seen the end result. I know I've seen the mountaintop, right? So I think that's the bigger part of it.
How many journeys would you say you had between acting and starting Fantasy Life?
Oh man, like 5 careers in my life.
Always different industries?
Always different industries. Real estate development. I worked at a place, we had a production arm, but we also did film sales for independent films between $5 and $50 million. And we would get them financed as well. So there was like learning about tax arbitrage in making a movie. Sold real estate about 6 years before I even went into real estate development. They were two totally different things. One was just a sales agent, like if you wanted to buy a home. The other one was for developers that we were buying and selling and constructing buildings. Bartending for a long time. I was a stage manager for an opera company in New York. I mean, I did a lot. And one of the things I said recently is that that's